Welcome to my video. Please subscribe my channel on September 1st, 2025. The world's attention turned to Tianjin, China, a city that has long stood at the crossroads of commerce and culture. On this day, however, Tianjin became the epicenter of a historic gathering, one that would reverberate far beyond its city limits. Leaders from across the Eastern Hemisphere, representing a tapestry of nations, arrived for the largest Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit ever convened. The air was thick with anticipation, as delegates and dignitaries from diverse backgrounds converged with a shared sense of purpose. This was more than a diplomatic event, it was a bold declaration by the Global South, signaling its intent to chart an independent course, free from the dominance of Western-led alliances. For many, it marked a turning point, a moment when emerging economies and developing nations stood together to demand a greater voice in shaping the world's future. With the inclusion of Belarus, the SCO now represented nearly half the world's population, and a quarter of its economic output. Its reach stretched from the steppes of Eastern Europe to the bustling ports of the Indian Ocean, encompassing a vast and diverse array of cultures, languages, and ambitions. The summit's ambitious agenda reflected the scale of its membership. Economic cooperation, unified security frameworks, and sustainable development were all on the table. Delegates debated how to foster innovation, protect shared interests, and build a more equitable, multipolar world order, one where no single power could dictate the terms. For Russia, the summit was a stage to demonstrate resilience and adaptability in the face of ongoing sanctions and international pressure. It was a chance to reaffirm old alliances and forge new partnerships, signaling that its influence remained undiminished. For China, the host nation, it was an opportunity to step confidently into a leadership role, guiding the agenda and showcasing its vision for regional stability and global cooperation. The world watched as China sought to balance ambition with responsibility. For India, the summit offered a unique platform to balance its relationships between East and West, leveraging its growing economic and diplomatic clout to advocate for the interests of the Global South while maintaining strategic autonomy. As over 20 nations convened under one roof, President Xi's opening remarks set a tone of unity and ambition. He emphasized that the SCO now bore an even greater responsibility, not just for regional peace but for the advancement of global development and the protection of shared values. This summit was not merely a meeting of leaders, it was the unveiling of a blueprint for a new era in international relations, built on the principles of mutual respect, collective prosperity, and shared destiny. The Tianjin summit signaled the rise of a more inclusive, balanced, and hopeful world order, one shaped by the voices and aspirations of the Global South. Amid the summit's grandeur, the world watched with bated breath as three of the most influential leaders of our time converged. The unscripted meeting of Modi, Putin, and Xi became its defining image, capturing the essence of a new geopolitical reality. This wasn't a staged photo op but a genuine convergence of three leaders shaping the SCO's core and, by extension, global affairs. Their interactions were spontaneous, reflecting a shared vision for the future. Putin sought to counter Western isolation, leveraging his presence to strengthen ties with key allies and challenge the existing global order. Modi asserted India's independent, multi-aligned stance, emphasizing the nation's role as a pivotal player in both regional and global contexts. Xi orchestrated unity against destabilizing Western policies, promoting a vision of collective strength and mutual respect among nations. Their conversation, conducted with ease, symbolized a new strategic alignment, one that didn't seek validation from the West, but rather focused on mutual interests and shared goals. The world watched as these leaders, representing billions, quietly redrew the map of influence, signaling a shift in power dynamics. Despite historical frictions, especially between India and China, their meeting signaled a pragmatic focus on shared interests, highlighting a willingness to collaborate for the greater good. Their alliance was a quiet declaration. The future would be shaped not just in the West but increasingly in the East, where new alliances and partnerships are forming. The story of this emerging power trio began not in a closed room, but in full view of the world, with a warm embrace between Modi and Putin. Their hug was more than a gesture. It was a symbol of trust and mutual respect, built over years of diplomatic engagement and shared interests. This public display of camaraderie sent a clear signal. The India-Russia partnership remained strong, resilient, and adaptable, even as global dynamics shift. Cameras flashed, capturing every nuance of their interaction. The world's media took note, recognizing the significance of this moment for the future of international relations and the evolving balance of power. With a sense of purpose, Modi and Putin moved together toward Xi Jinping, the leader of China. This was more than a simple meeting, it was a carefully choreographed display of unity among three of the world's most influential leaders. As they stood side by side, the trio projected an unmistakable image of solidarity and shared ambition, right at the heart of the summit. Their body language spoke volumes about their willingness to collaborate on the global stage. For India, this moment was a testament to its ability to balance complex relationships with both Russia and China, asserting its role as a bridge between East and West. For Russia, it was a powerful rebuttal to any narrative of isolation, demonstrating that Moscow still commands respect and influence among major global players. For China, it was a moment to showcase its centrality in shaping the future of international cooperation, positioning itself as an indispensable partner in this new alignment. Their relaxed, easy conversation hinted at substantive dialogue behind the scenes, discussions that could influence the direction of global politics, far beyond the ceremonial optics. The handshake, the hug, and the huddle were more than just photo opportunities. They sent a clear, unmistakable message. A new coalition was taking shape, one that aimed to assert the Global South's rightful place in shaping the world's future and redefining the rules of global decision-making. While the Modi-Putin-Xi interaction radiated significance, another moment spoke volumes, a silent snub. As Modi and Putin walked past Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif without acknowledgement, the cameras caught a telling scene. The Pakistani leader stood alone, sidelined as the main players moved on. This snub highlighted Pakistan's isolation within the SCO, despite its full membership. The incident underscored the deep-seated tensions, especially between India and Pakistan, that the organization cannot erase. Modi's silent pass was a pointed reminder. Dialogue is off the table while terrorism remains unaddressed. The summit's focus was clear. China, Russia, and India were at the center, while others watched from the periphery. When Modi addressed the SCO, his message was uncompromising. Nations supporting terrorism must be held accountable. He named groups like Al-Qaeda, making the threat specific and urgent. Modi's speech challenged the SCO to uphold its founding principles: zero tolerance for terrorism, without exceptions. His call for a comprehensive convention on international terrorism was a demand for real action, not rhetoric. By raising the issue forcefully, Modi ensured security remained central to the summit's agenda. India's stance was clear. Economic cooperation is impossible without trust and a shared commitment to eradicating terror. Modi's words were a call to action, pressing the SCO to prove its credibility on the world stage. As host, Xi Jinping's keynote was both a call for global cooperation and a pointed critique of Western, especially American policies. He condemned bullying and Cold War mentalities, without naming the US, and called for reforming the multilateral system to be more equitable. Xi advocated for open, inclusive trade and deeper cooperation in technology, green energy, and the digital economy. His message resonated with developing nations seeking a fairer economic order. Xi positioned China as a partner for shared progress, countering Western narratives of threat. The speech was a confident assertion of China's leadership and a pitch for the SCO as the vehicle for a more just international system. Xi's vision, a new non-Western bloc shaping its own destiny. Modi's visit to China, his first since 2018, hinted at a cautious thaw in India-China relations after years of tension. The summit followed deliberate Chinese overtures, including a conciliatory letter from Xi to India's president. With both nations facing economic pressures from the West, the timing was strategic. The SCO provided a venue to compartmentalize disputes and explore cooperation in trade and technology. Cordial interactions between Modi and Xi signaled willingness to reset, even as border issues lingered. A stable India-China relationship is crucial for Asian stability and global geopolitics. The summit may be remembered as a small but significant step toward de-escalation and pragmatic engagement. The Tianjin SCO Summit was a vivid display of the world's shifting power balance. The SCO, now a bloc of 26 nations, has evolved from a security forum to a major geopolitical and economic force. Its unified stance on terrorism and fair trade challenges the dominance of Western-led institutions. The summit's outcomes, development strategy, counter-terrorism, and economic cooperation, will shape global relations for years. The Russia-India-China course sent a message global issues can be addressed through non-Western platforms. The summit marked the emergence of a confident bloc determined to chart its own course. The sands of global power have shifted. The SCO is now a central pillar of the New World Order.